Hi, happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's feeling all right. It's about 12 o'clock. I'm going to have a long ramble probably because I've been waiting to just unravel my own mind, and just process some stuff that I've been ingesting. So I'm going to do a little sky video later because there's been some interesting clouds this week as well. And this morning there was a rainbow that stayed for over an hour. So that was unusual because it wasn't raining either. But yeah, that was nice. I'm going to put some little footage together. Maybe I'll stick it on the end of this if I bother editing. So I've been having one of those sort of like, should I make an effort with this video or not type of battles with myself. And I think that's why I've not been able to post my videos that I've done, because I've done them. And it's just because I'm trying to build Rome in a day sometimes. Basically, I found this guy's work and it's just incredible to me, for me, in so many ways. And it's all about the science of plasma and the physics of bliss and golden ratio and dodecahedroses, electromagnetism, longitudinal wave mechanics, and cold plasma fusion, and what that is, this implosion, and DNA braiding. He speaks about the politics of ET history, and man, there's just so many correlations, and I'm so grateful that I found this guy's work. And I definitely have heard the name before. I don't know if somebody's recommended for me to check out his work in the past and I've just gone, Brill, thanks for the link, and then never followed through. Or if I've read his name being spoken about in comments or something. But yeah, happy coincidence, cropped up one of his videos and I was just blown away, and that was like a week ago now. And so every moment of spare time that I've had has been listening to this guy's work and taking notes. Like, it's been like, I feel giddy. Like, I think I was always like quite a nerd at heart, like I enjoyed learning early in schoolwork and, doing shit. And so, yeah, it feels like I'm at university, and I'm at the university that I chose, not the School of Hard Knocks, like I feel like I'm starting to find, for me, like the real juicy stuff now, like the knowledge, I guess, to go with the intuition or the esoteric side of sort of really what's happening when awakening and what we're all trying to attain, and what it's all for. And so yeah, everything's beautifully coming together to me. There's so many correlations, like and I wish that I could explain everything in a coherent manner in a video, but I'm going to be probably doing that in small segments forever, as I'm understanding this information more. But I just wanted to do a video basically just to recommend him and just pass it on to anybody, because for me it feels like a real gift, he's like a real treasure. This information for me, and the way he's presenting it, is everything that came to me organically during what I described as the start of my like Kundalini awakening, this crazy night in March, and so many other things. And it's mind-blowing to me, but it's also not. It feels like this is wonderful. This is wonderful for me, and I'm finding it hard to explain why. And I keep sort of like attempting to start a video, but I'm so excited, and there's so many there's so many resonances and correlations for me in his work, which is so multifaceted. It's incredible. So all I can do without murdering his work and, you know, cocking this up is just go and check out the link, check out this guy and his work, and if it resonates, then that's great, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm shocked to fuck that it's like, I whistled then, shocked. That it's physics, you know. It's like, I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect that I would be interested. 1212. I keep seeing 1141 actually, last few days. Along with, you know, the usual ones. So, yeah, and he talks about DNA braiding and... I mean, like, I'm just throwing words out here. It's not making sense, so fuck it. Check out the link, and if you resonate, then you'll probably be learning alongside, you know, me. I'm going to be learning this shit forever, I think. But, yeah, so much flooding back to me. You know, like, my mum's mum, who was Irish, she was a dowser, and I remember that being, like, a big sort of thing that came back to me. And, again, you know, like I say, before this sort of like forced awakening where I was like downloaded these bits of information, like clues almost, and it was about rhesus negative blood, being here for a reason, which sounds so grandiose as well, but I think, you know, we're all here for a reason. And DNA upgrades. Yeah, and just sort of knowing that everything was electromagnetic, and I was questioning gravity, and I'm like, before this awakening this night, I was still pretty plugged into the Matrix. I think I was still sort of watching, you know, like The Only Way is Essex and Made in Chelsea, Big Brother, X Factor, you know. I was plugged into mainstream, and, you know, just sort of like miserably getting away with life through sort of dark humour, and that was it, you know, just sort of being like, well, this is pretty shit, you know. And yeah, and so that night, you know, I was like, what the fuck does all this mean? And it's all making sense to me now. The shape that was shown to me, the colours that were emitting, what it looked like. Again, just understanding more about plasma. And this is like meaty stuff that's really quite hard for me personally to comprehend. I'm having to do a lot of pausing and rewinding and making sure that I'm understanding what's going on. But for me, I think this is going to answer a lot of my own questions about the fabric of reality, you know, consciousness, the construct of everything, what it actually means when you're tapping into your ancestral memory, what we're doing, how we're lighting our own fires, the flame in the mind, and we're, you know, creating our own auras, raising our kundalinis, fucking upgrading our DNA, creating these plasma fields, and it's physics, and it's beautiful as well. It's the caduceus, it's the the golden ratio, 2 pine cones kissing. It's implosion, it's everything. And so, sorry, I've got so many correlations because this guy's work is so vast and I've not checked it out enough, but it's all coming together for me. You know, the things that I was sort of downloaded, it's making more sense to me as well now, and the differences in the blood types and what that means, and the Ark of the Covenant and what that really was, what that really is. You know, just huge sort of, for me, just like, whoa, you know, this is juicy good stuff. Like, I feel like I'm in some beautiful old library in some marvellous university, and there's only me on the course, and I've got access to all this, and all it is this guy's videos on YouTube. Honestly, he's amazing. So yeah, get over myself. I've got to let it all process before I can sort of do it justice. But things to me are making a lot of sense, and it's not taken away from the sort of spiritual side of it at all. It's just giving it more weight and showing what it is through a scientific lens, which I never thought I needed, but clearly I did, because this is the information that I've needed to make sense of my own awakening, you know, because that night was the craziest night of my life, and I've given birth twice, and they were fucking crazy enough, like mental spaces that I shot off to. But it's all just so exciting, consciousness and understanding this. And yeah, and he was talking about shamans and what they actually are and what they actually do. And yeah, it's for me, it's opening up a lot, and it's triggering a lot of things for me. He even mentioned about how in his eyes the whole sort of men v women thing was done from religions, and it was based on a fear of women that stems from the Pleiades and these warrior type women, that apparently it was this quite dominating matriarchal culture, and that, you know, other beings fled from that, and along with that brought memories of fear of women, which were then, you know, planted down here. And I find some sort of, I find a lot of these things, you know, very, like, activating, these chats and his sort of, his research on things. And, yeah, it's just, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, what else have I got to say? On Wednesday last week, and I'm only saying this as a record, and I was laughing earlier because I was saying, I should mention this, like, in a video, just so I can, like, recall it and my kids can look back at it. And, you know, I don't know, it's just a moment that doesn't happen often. Basically, I did some hero shit the other day. I was on the way to pick my little girl up, and one of the neighbours a few houses down, her husband had collapsed on the floor and stopped breathing, and she was trying to give him CPR, and I'd just done a CPR course not that long ago, so it was fresh in the mind, and I was super duper calm, and, you know, I ran over and took over and started doing it properly, because he was pretty fat and she was really thin. And, you know, I could hear the sternum clicking, but stuff started coming out of his mouth and vomit, and I could smell it all, and then I was giving him the breaths and stuff, and I did that for a couple of minutes until the paramedics arrived, and then I rushed off to get my little girl, and apparently he is alive. He's doing better than he was, but he's still sort of not great. But I've not checked, actually, for a couple of days, and I don't really know them anyway. But so, yeah, so that was really strange. And what I was saying was that it was very much like, and the kid's dad helped out as well, and he said the same, you know, it was sort of like dreamlike. And what we noticed was that a lot of people were freezing, you know, not knowing what to do, just neither sort of fleeing nor helping, but just sort of freezing. So I was laughing after, because I said, obviously I know this isn't the reality, but there was another perception, you know, another potential timeline where it felt like it was set up for me, you know, like a test, like, let's see how she does then, you know, let's set this up. It was so sort of, it felt like training or a test. It was really weird, you know, like as if you'd gone on some army thing and it was like, let's test your CPR skills, you know, like a role-playing type of thing. That's how it felt. And so I was quite proud of myself, actually, if I'm honest. And then, you know, it was reaffirmed that it was helpful, you know, what I did. And so I was just like, yay, 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 yay. I think it's the first hero thing I've done in a while. Although we like to think we're mini heroes every day, don't we? But yeah, so that was good. Anything else? An hour-long rainbow this morning. I think I've mentioned that. And I've got loads of stuff that I want to try and relate from this guy's work, but like I said, it's probably lifetimes. Look at this. This is full on. This. I've been so boring, and what I do is when I'm really into something, it's like I always try and like find it in everything else. So it's like I'm just being quite boring at the moment because I'm sort of I'm trying to connect everything to what I'm interested in. You know, I'm like, do you know anything about longitudinal waves? And you know, people are like, no. 222 12:22. I guess I'll stop now. Yeah. Happy Tuesday. And please check this link out. I spat all over the show because I know so many of you are going to have so many sort of like mini revelations if you resonate and you look at this guy's work. You know, like the geometric shapes, the black holes, the 0 point, the spirals, the braiding of the DNA, the inside out, you know, the emanating of the aura and how you feel that generating that field. You know, it's an actual thing. It's a charge, and yeah, and I think it's like this plasma embedding, this DNA braiding, is what's happening. And really strange as well, he was talking about how sort of Jerusalem was a portal, and I was thinking to myself, whoa, because I once ingested DMT and it took me straight to this stereotypical what looked like Jerusalem, you know, indigo, navy blue sky, Star of David over a temple with sand on it, and it sucked me straight in and then popped me straight back out. So I was like, oh, that was weird. But at the time I remember going, is this somehow connected to my current thoughts? Because at that point I was sort of, I was feeling more like I was sort of sussing religion out a little bit at the time, you know, and sort of dabbling within the research of that type of thing. So I always remember thinking, you know, you could be taking yourself there through pre-put there thoughts. Sometimes when I try and make myself sound like I'm making sense, I make less of this. But anyway, and this sort of plasma containment, this fusion in the blood, this lighting the flame in your mind, this creating an aura, it is only done through pure intention, which is the most beautiful thing about it. And yeah, so it's like it can't be sustained or attained if you are not the perfect vessel or carrier for that information and that wave, which is all to do with empathy and how much you feel the pain of others, which is fucking marvellous, isn't it? And so, anyway, this guy, Dan Winter, he's amazing. I'll leave a link to his stuff. And I hope that, you know, you flick through his videos and you choose the one with the title or the visual that suits you best. And yeah, it's amazing. So I'm hunky-dory happy days in the mind, you know, the mind. I feel like I'm just like, this is great. I'm going to really try and understand this and then apply it more to my life. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to try and process and explain more why this specific experience, this crazy night in March, why I feel like, you know, what was going on and the sort of interesting correlations between that. So yeah, interesting. And also he's got loads of sort of loads of other sort of things that are going to be sparking shit off in other people, which I'm not going to talk about now, but including ancient language, and, you know, ET history as well. So it's very bloody exciting. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And life outside is still, you know, just the same. I'm still waiting for my shit to happen, and I realise that, you know, I've got to get cracking now. I was laughing because, like, I remember before the end of the year, you know, just being like, 2020's like, gotta get, you know, do or die. I didn't say that, but it was like, you know, it's time for momentum. And, you know, throughout the whole of January, I was just sort of like, just chilling and sort of accepting that and just going, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And so there's still a little bit of me that's like that now. It's just like, the most important thing is to focus the attention, the pure intention, and access the bliss. Access the bliss. So cool. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that's not too annoyingly rambly for anybody else. But yeah, have a marvellous day, and yes, goodbye.